The next gift is the framed jersey that you wore on that memorable night. Making this presentation is Phillies General Manager Ruben Amaro Jr. Now, please welcome the president of the Philadelphia Phillies, David Montgomery. Every Phillies player has two families. First, his wife and children, and second, his teammates. Both are critical to the success of any player. To recognize Brandy's support for her husband and family, David is presenting a specially designed pendant. And a special gift for Braden and Ryan, a bronze cast of your dad's hand with the inscription, Dad's Perfect Game, plus a game-used baseball from that perfect game. Roy, at this time, David would like to present to you a very special ring exclusively designed as an everlasting memento of your historic achievement. More than once, you have credited your catcher as an important part of the perfect game. Please welcome Carlos Ruiz. Chooch, Roy would like to present you with home plate from Sun Life Stadium. A very special gift from him, a specially designed ring with the inscription, "We did it together. Thanks, Roy." These are heartfelt gestures of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, perfect game pitcher Roy Halladay.
Thank, obviously, the Phillies organization, one of the classiest places I've ever could have been. Everybody from the very front office, all the teammates, everybody in the coach's room, all the help. It's been unbelievable. This is a dream come true for me. Not this, but to play in Philadelphia. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
What a ceremony that just took place down on the field here at Citizens Bank Park. The gifts that were presented to Roy Halladay and his family, second to none. How about the ring honoring Roy's perfect game, which he received from David Montgomery, the president of the Phillies, and then the same kind of ring that Roy presented to Carlos Ruiz. There is the ring that the Phillies presented to Roy Halladay, the perfect game ring with the beautiful rubies all around the base path and the inscription, which is just unbelievable. We did it together. And that has been the theme for Roy Halladay as he's talked about this perfect game. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll get you set for baseball here at Citizens Bank Park. activity out in Ashburn Alley on the heels of the Roy Halladay celebration as the fans get ready for the finale of this 4-game series against the Houston Astros. Along with Chris Wheeler, I'm Tom McCarthy. Gary Matthews will be along a little later on. Well, Wheels, at this point, we could easily be talking about the Phillies starting rotation because Joe Blanton, Cole Hamels, and Roy Halladay last night all pitched exceptionally well in the first 3 games. The problem is the Astros won all 3 games. So let's talk about their starting rotation, which has been really good.
Yeah, I guess you got to talk about the winners because the pitching has been outstanding in this series, both the starters and the bullpen. The offense, there hasn't been a whole lot. Brett Myers came out and was really, really good in the first game of the series. This staff especially, is doing a good job of pitching this lineup backwards. Look how many of these strikeouts are on off-speed pitches. Breaking balls, change-ups, sliders. A lot of off-speed stuff from Brett Myers right there. And then Bud Norris, he came out and did the same thing in the second game. There's a changeup right there that he gets Chase Utley out on. There's a sinking fastball there. But a lot of off-speed stuff to these hitters, and they've been having a lot of trouble trying to figure out what the Astros are doing to them. Jay Happ came out last night, and he did a good job. Breaking ball right there. Another breaking ball for a strikeout. A changeup to Sweeney for a double play ball. So when you watch the way they have pitched the Phillies lineup, they really have a good idea how to get a lot of these hitters out, and that's by pitching backwards, and that means throwing off-speed stuff and fastball counts. The Phillies have struck out a lot in this series. 17 times in these innings pitched. You see how many of the strikeouts in there. They do have some walks, but they just have not been able to figure out what's going on. Now, whether it's the staff of the Astros pitching them well or whether they're in one of those funks again, who knows?
Well, and it's going to be Kyle Kendrick who's going to try to turn the page this afternoon from a pitching standpoint, celebrating his birthday, and he'll be opposed by arguably the best pitcher right now for the Houston Astros, and that's Wandy Rodriguez. The first pitch and starting lineups when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's National Clearance Event. Buy Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Buy Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. Buy Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. And buy Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Astros, and they're trying to get to the 500 mark on this homestand. Phillies are currently 4-5 with the 3 losses to the Astros. Let's take a look at Houston's starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at center field, Michael Bourne. Anderson Hernandez, the second baseman, bats second. Hunter Pence hits third, followed by Carlos Lee, the left fielder. Chris Johnson's over at third base, batting fifth. Brett Wallace hits sixth. Angel Sanchez, the shortstop, bats seventh. Jason Castro, the catcher, will hit eighth this afternoon. And batting ninth at pitching is left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. And they'll face 26-year-old today, Kyle Kendrick, who is making his 25th start of the year, 8-6 with a 4.58 earned run average. And Wheels, I think Kyle has something to prove this afternoon off of his last outing.
Well, he'd like to give himself and everybody a happy birthday present here this afternoon, Tom. Yeah, he wasn't good his last time out, no doubt about it. And we put that in there, good game, bad game, because that's what he's been doing. You know, he'll pitch real well, then he won't pitch real well. So he needs to try to be more consistent, command his sinker. Those are his numbers against the Houston Astros. And everybody knows, of course, that he has some problems with left-handed hitters as we check out that Southwest Airlines scouting report.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Nissan.
Well, play the game right, because not only are they losing lately, but they've been sloppy, and there's no excuse for that. And sure would be nice to win before that long trip starts out to the coast, because they're going to go out and face San Diego, and that's going to be tough to start out.
It's the end of the model year, and Nissan's laying it all on the line. Nissan's bottom line sales event going on now. Michael Bourne leads things off for the Astros. Michael was 5 for 15 in the series. First pitch of the game, a strike on the outside corner.
5 left-handed hitters in the lineup for the Astros this afternoon. They have Rodriguez listed as a switch hitter, but I think he bats right all the time.
Somebody asked me the other day why he wears the double-flapped helmets, the starting pitcher for the Astros. I just assumed that he was a switch hitter.
Yeah.
Looked in the book, and there's an S next to the B.
Yeah, switch hitter, but it doesn't have any breakdown whether he's hitting right and left, so we'll see. He got a big hit last year off Cliff Lee, a double in that game in Houston when Lee had such a tough game against him.
2-1 the count to Michael Bourne. And it's 3-1.
That's what happened to Kyle in the last start, was he didn't throw strikes, and he got in trouble with walks, and that's certainly not good for any pitcher, but especially for a guy that is not a strikeout pitcher.
Michael Bourne was taking all the way, and he takes strike 2. Michael is 4 for 7 lifetime against Kyle Kendrick. He's had a lot of success against Kendrick and the Phillies, particularly this year against the Phillies. Lifts it toward left, right at Raul Ibanez. That's a nice start with the sunglasses on, 1 away.
Real good start. Because you don't want to walk Michael Bourne, because the odds are it's a double if you do. It's like a double.
Last outing for Kyle, he allowed 5 runs in 5 2/3, 9 hits and 4 walks, and he was booed pretty heavily when he left the game, during the game. And as Wills mentioned, it's a good start, bad start scenario. Last game he lost 8-1. The start before he won 3-1. Time before that the Phillies lost 15-9.
Well, the problem is that he's not just average in the games. He's either real good or real bad. And even if you were just in the middle somewhere, it'd be okay.
Anderson Hernandez is the batter, and Hernandez fouls the second pitch off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hernandez began the year with the Cleveland Indians, then picked up by the Astros, went to the minors for a few ball games, and has been up with the Astros since Jeff Keppinger went on the disabled list. 2-1 the count. Over the second straight batter, Kyle falls behind 3-1. The Astros, as we mentioned last night, have played much better baseball over their last 75 games. Hunter Pence is one of the big reasons why. He's in the on-deck circle. And a base hit for Hernandez, and he's aboard with 1 out. And he continues to hit the Phillies well. But over the last 75 games, the Astros, who began the year well under the 500 mark, are playing better than 500 baseball. They're 40-35 over the last 75 games, which gives Brad Mills the opportunity to kind of settle into his first year as the skipper here in Houston.
Well, they have pretty good rotation working right now, and that normally is a way to get settled down. If you don't give up a lot of runs and you catch the ball, then hopefully you can score enough to win. Now the Phillies are doing that and not scoring enough to win, as it turns out.
Well, Hunter Pence has 4 hits and 13 at-bats this series for the Astros. He's been a big part of their success. And a toss over by Kendrick, and that chases Hernandez back.
They had a couple solo home runs last night to hurt the Phillies. Pence hit one, Michael Bourne the other. And the bloop double by Quintero is the one that won the game for them.
And the Phillies scored just 2 runs in the game last night.
That seems to be the norm lately.
For the toss over. Well, since 2004, there you see the record for Houston, 15-7 against the Phillies. The numbers are very similar on both ends, so they've been some close games.
Yeah, a lot of close games that they haven't been able to win. And that includes a 3-game sweep by the Phillies right out of the chute this year at Houston. Brad was talking about that earlier, beating Charlie Manuel's team, because they started out with the Giants with Lincecum, Kane, and Zito, and then the Phillies came in.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Pence.
And they were 0-6 before they could look up, and then they lost in Chicago, and they were 0-7. That was when everybody thought the Cubs were good.
Every year they think the Cubs are good.
Yeah. They actually lost the first 2 games of that Cubs series to go 0-8 before they won a close game on a Sunday afternoon.
Pence stays alive as he fouls that back.
Well, just bring that up, and of course there they are. 0-8. The way they started out, they hit .214, scored 1.8 runs. They were not scoring runs at all. Their ERA was high. They were a losing team, statistically and realistically.
Well, and since that time, 57-61, still 4 games under 500, but they have played better baseball than, let's say, the Milwaukee Brewers, who are in 3rd place in the National League Central since that time. And they're within 2 games of the Brewers, who have lost 3 in a row. Kyle keeping an eye on Anderson Hernandez over at first. 1-2 the count to Pence. In the air to right field. Bright sunshiny afternoon. Jason Worth finds the ball, makes the catch.
To a breaking ball or a cutter there, one or the other, kind of broke away from Hunter Pence, and that was a good pitch to him. You want to stay away from him if you can. See what it was. That's that little cut fastball he throws once in a while, and that was in a good spot.
So Kyle has 2 outs here in the top of the first, and here's Carlos Lee. Wheels was talking about Kyle's games this year, where when he's good, he's really good. When he struggles, he really struggles. Well, he's pitched 6 or more innings in 14 of his 24 starts, and he's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 11 of those 24 starts.
There you go.
Where the problem is, and Rich Doobie was talking about this the other day, in 9 of his starts this year, he's allowed 5 earned runs or more. So even though the Phillies are scoring runs on his behalf, a lot of times those games are out of reach, like the last outing when Steven Strasburg and the Nationals were here. In the air to left field. Ibanez going back to the warning track toward the wall. It's off the base of the wall. Hernandez to third. He's being waved home. Jimmy cuts it off, throws to the plate, off balance, not in time. And it's 1-0 Houston.
Ibanez did not make a good relay throw, the relay in to Jimmy Rollins. The throw to Jimmy, and he's trying to relay it to the plate. Here's a look at it. That was that looked like a high sinker, I guess. It goes right off here, and now here comes Raul, and watch how this thing tails, and Jimmy picks it up, and he can't get anything on the throw because he's running to catch it and running to throw, so they had no chance to get the guy at the plate.
So now the task is to limit the damage here in the top of the first. The Astros have scored a run. An RBI, the 72nd for Lee this year. And here's the red-hot Chris Johnson. We didn't say that about Chris Johnson after the first game of the series, but over the last 2 games, he has 6 hits. And overall, he's 6 for 14.
Talked about the Phillies have had the lead 1 time in this series. Once. And we're in the 4th game. Not only they haven't won a game, they can't even get a lead against these guys.
inside, 2-1. See, Johnson's numbers better when runners are on. 4.14 average. And since the All-Star break, he's among the league leaders in average, hitting .376 since the break. And we're talking about a month and a half since the All-Star break. So that's a pretty good turnaround.
Not an easy inning for Kyle Kendrick.
Left side, Jimmy charges, takes it on the second hop, throws out Johnson. The side is retired. But the Astros strike first, an RBI double by Carlos Lee. We go to the middle of the first as the Astros won and the Phillies coming up. So let's take a look at Charlie's starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Chase Utley, the second baseman, bats second. Placido Polanco hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the cleanup batter. Jason Worth is in right field, hitting fifth. Raul Ibanez bats sixth. Batting seventh is center fielder Shane Victorino. Brian Schneider hits eighth. He does the catching. And batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Kyle Kendrick. And they will face left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. 26th start for Rodriguez, 9-12, but wheels over his last 11 starts. His earned run average is the second best ERA in the National League.
Yeah, don't let that 9-12 fool you, because he started the season 3-10 with an over 6 earned run average. Southwest Airlines scouting report, that's his fastball. He really uses his curveball a lot to everybody, and he has a good move to first base. It's almost a balk move, and he can hold runners on.
So here we go. The Phillies try to make up some ground after trailing at 1-0, and Jimmy Rollins leads it off, takes a pitch high. Jimmy overall hitting .245 with 6 homers and 32 RBIs.
Rodriguez coming off a 10 strikeout performance last time out against Florida.
He's not a big guy. He's 5 feet 11 inches, 195 pounds. From Santiago Rodriguez to the Dominican Republic. He is 31 years old and was originally signed as a free agent by the Astros in 1999. And Jimmy pulls that one foul. And it's 2-1.
Talked about in the opening how many breaking balls and changeups they've been getting in this series from the Astros staff, and they've done a very good job of pitching this lineup. There's one.
Good luck at McDonald's. Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Jeff Zukowski from Newark, Delaware. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, Big Jeff's going to win $100. Over to third, diving play. Johnson to his feet, throws low in time to get Jimmy. It's a nice play by Johnson, who's committed 10 errors over its third base this year.
Yeah, heck of a play. It looked like a double when he hit it. Now he was not respecting a bunt from Jimmy Rollins the way that some teams do. If he had been, That ball's down the line for a double, but he's all the way back, playing fairly deep. Pops up, strong throw, got him at first, even though fans are going to boo, of course, after what's gone on here the last few days. But that's a big league play right there. He had to re-grip the baseball too.
Fans will boo the umpires in this series, of course, because it's been an eventful series for the umps, and they'll definitely boo Scott Barry, who is the first base umpire this afternoon.
And sure enough for Barry, first Phillies hitter, he gets a bang call, and he got it right.
Chase hitting .271 with 11 homers and 39 RBIs, 3 for 13 in the series. There's Sam Holbrook. He's the crew chief. Barry's at first. Greg Gibson's at second, and Brian Knight is around at third. Two and one the count. Chase spent 43 days on the disabled list, so his last home run came on the 18th of June. And he is just trying to get his timing back after coming off the disabled list.
There's an example of it right there. You know, he gets a fastball, and he was indecisive, and the check swing. By the way, we haven't mentioned what kind of day we have here. It's
you like this day?
Very gorgeous, as people know living here, but the wind is a factor today, blowing out to right. It's the first time we've had a strong wind like this blowing to right and right center, because the wind's turned to the northwest a little bit.
In fact, the Phillies will head out to San Diego after this ball game, but for the next couple of days, the Delaware Valley is going to enjoy some pretty good temperatures. There you see 80 degrees.
Anytime you see the flags that way, you know it's out of the northwest.
Chase stays alive, and the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned earlier that the Phillies have played from behind a lot during this homestand. Well, particularly in the first inning. The Giants, the Nationals, and now the Astros have taken leads in 6 of the games on this homestand in the first inning. They've scored combined 11 first inning runs.
And they've even, Phillies, of course, have won some of those games, too, against the Giants in Washington, but not against these guys.
Line drive toward right. Hunter Pence started in and has to retreat and make the catch.
Well, they hit 2 balls right on the nose to start this game and have nothing out of it. But, you know, you keep swinging like this and keep hitting balls hard like this, you'll get your hits.
So Chase hits it hard, and with 2 away, here's Placido Polanco.
Wind picks this thing up a little bit, too, and it really fooled Hunter Pence, but he's tall and very athletic, and he was able to go back and make up for his original mistake.
And now with 2 away, Placido Polanco will stand in. Polanco hitting .317. Still among the leaders in batting average in the National League. .294 on the homestand. And he slices it the opposite way. Pence on the run, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies here in the bottom of the first. We go to the second here at Citizens Bank Park. It's the Astros 1, the Phillies nothing. doubleheader here at Citizens Bank Park. There are tickets still available for both ends of that day-night doubleheader, even though the first one is the rescheduled game from the 9th of June. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets or call 215-463-1000. Good folks in the ticket office are standing by as we speak. Brett Wallace leads it off and takes a fastball for a strike. Wallace is 1 for 9 in the series and overall hitting $191 with no homers and 5 runs batted in. And he pops up the second pitch from Kendrick. Jimmy deals with the wind and makes the catch as it comes back towards second.
That gives you an idea how it's going to get knocked down towards left and left center today if the ball's hit high. Now, the ball Carlos Lee hit, nothing was going to affect that screamer.
There's the wind that Wheels is talking about. The flags are really moving from left to right. Angel Sanchez is the batter. Sanchez just 1 for 10 in the series.
Yeah, he was hitting 2 the first 2 games of the series. Dropped him down here to 7 today.
And one thing that we learned, and this isn't a huge deal, is that Angel Sanchez is not fleet of foot.
No, he's not a good runner for a middle infielder. For a catcher, he would be.
0-2 the count to Sanchez. And that one just missed. It's 1-2. Looper to right. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Jason gets to it quickly, throws off balance, and not in time. So the third hit of the day for the Astros. Not a bad pitch by Kyle. It came in on the hands of Sanchez, but he was still able to fight it off into right.
And Sanchez is running down the first baseline, doing the loop like you're supposed to do on a base hit. Next thing he knows, he sees Worth doing that. He went, oh, no. So he jumped back into the baseline. Watch. Well, you can't see it right there, but he comes after him and he's doing a loop, which is normal. You know, you think, well, I'm going to make my turn at first, and they think, oh man, I got to go straight. Here you go, watch. See right here, starts to loop out a little bit, and then whoa, I better cut back inside.
I think he's running down the line thinking, am I really that slow?
Really? What do you think I am, a pitcher?
Here's Jason Castro, the catcher. He's the number 8 batter for Houston. Castro's 0 for 3 in this series.
You don't see too many position players start to do that move like that for a base hit and then all of a sudden have to run it out.
Line drive, base hit to left field. Well, that means the Astros can ask Wandy Rodriguez to sacrifice for the top of the order. Back-to-back singles given up by Kendrick. To the 7 and 8 hitters. Who knows what Brad Mills will do? He's up 1-0. Rodriguez traditionally handles the bat pretty well.
Yeah, you would think they would try to bunt here. Of course, they know they don't have a fast runner at second with a forced play at third. But you know, you would bunt here, I would think, to try and give Michael Bourne a shot to knock in some runs.
Al Pedrique, who is the bench coach normally for the Astros, is over in the third base coach's box today. And Jamie Quirk, who's normally the bullpen coach, is acting as Brad Mills' bench coach today. Dave Clark is not with the club. Rodriguez bunts and bunts it right to third. Nice bunt. That'll move the runners up. The putout goes 5-4 on the sack. And there are 2 outs.
Textbook by Wandy Rodriguez. Make the third baseman field the ball when you have runners at first and second. Really good job. There you go. Very good technique. Boy, look at him let the bat catch the ball basically and bunts it right at Polanco where there's no chance for the pitcher to get involved there and make him field it.
Back to the top of the order. Here's Michael Bourne. Bourne swings at the first pitch and hits it into right. A base hit. 1 run will score. They're holding Castro. It's an RBI single for Michael Bourne, and it's 2-0 Houston. 6th hit in the series for Bourne. And with Kyle Kendrick gave up the 2 hits to the 7 and 8 batters. And that's led to this run.
Yeah, now you have to think about Bourne stealing a bag here too.
Hernandez singled and scored the first run for Houston. That was in the last inning. And Bourne, who has stolen 42 bases, takes his lead off first. And he decides to hold up, and the pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes.
I'm surprised he didn't go on the first pitch. I don't think Schneider will even throw through if he goes.
Brian just looked over to the dugout just to see what they wanted him to do. Michael last year stole 61 bases for Houston, 41 the year before. And that's over for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Talking it over with Bobby Meacham down there. You know, Kendrick can hold runners fairly close. He has quick feet on his move. Middle infielders are way back, though. Like they're not even going to cover. And they're thinking, well, maybe he's going to go now and he'll leave early.
Bourne doesn't go, and the 1-1 chopped off the plate. Utley charges, avoids the runner, throws a little low to first, and the side is retired. A run on 3 hits for Houston. The RBI single by Michael Bourne has given the Astros a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. As they go in depth on the Eagles' 3rd preseason game against the Chiefs, plus Ricky Bowe. He recaps the series with the Astros, and triathlon competitor Tom Kramer stops by for a good cause. That's tonight on Daily News Live, coming up at 5 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. And Michael is preparing for the show tonight. There's Ricky. Michael chatting, and Ricky just in the backdrop. Looks like he's going over some tweets right now.
In fact, they're preparing by seeing how much they can eat. Which is not a bad way.
Thing. I was going to say that's not a bad thing at all.
Not a bad way to hang out at a ballpark.
Here's Ryan Howard.
It's one of the things you do.
I asked Charlie the other day on his television show what his favorite ballpark fare is. And he didn't miss a beat. Cheesesteaks. He did say that he wouldn't mind a hot dog every once in a while. I said, when was the last time you came to a game as a fan? And he said, that's a good question.
Yeah. He was scouting a few years ago, but technically he's working.
Up high, 3 balls and no strikes to Ryan.
Rodriguez is not sharp here at the beginning of the game. They hit balls hard on him in the first inning, didn't get anything out of it, and now he runs another deep count. So, you know, hopefully he'll stay this way and they'll get him.
Well, this is the 3rd 3-ball count for Rodriguez so far. And Ryan, you see his numbers since the 28th of July. That's 9 games. He has struck out 8 times in this series. And he fouls it off to run the count to 3-2.
Hitting, you know, is confidence, but there's so much about hitting is timing. And, you know, he doesn't have real good timing right now, and he's swinging at balls and taking strikes. Not necessarily in this at bat, but that's what's been happening with him.
They got a hanger there, and he fouls it back.
How about the count, too? They have a 2-run lead, nobody on base, and he throws a 3-2 curveball. And that's been the pattern throughout this series from the Astros pitchers. They aren't giving in with a lot of fastballs. And it doesn't matter the game situation.
On the hands, a looper over towards shortstop, and Angel Sanchez makes the catch. And what away. So Ryan's now 1 for 13 in the series, and he'll give way to Jason Worth. Mentioned Wandy Rodriguez's earned run average since the 24th of June is 1.84, which ranks second in the National League among starting pitchers. Well, he hasn't won here in August. In fact, the Astros have lost all 4 of his starts in the month of August, and he's received a no decision in all 4 of those starts. He's allowed 1 earned run 3 times, 2 earned runs 1 other time. And you see his earned run average during the month of August. Ryan Dempster, the Cubs, Roy Oswalt, Wandy Rodriguez, and Tim Hudson. There's Roy Oswalt.
Left fielder.
Yeah. Left fielder not really in training.
Yeah. Hopefully not to see that again.
2-1 the count to Jason Worth.
This guy's working behind everybody. Here we go again. 3-1. And they still have 4 times with 3 ball counts and 5 hitters and no damage. But as we mentioned, they did hit it hard the first inning.
He hits it hard there, right towards shortstop. Cut off in the hole by Sanchez, and he throws out Jason. And there are 2 outs. By the way, the Arizona Hudson that was up there, it wasn't Tim Hudson. I think that was just me thinking that Tim Hudson had pitched well enough to be in the top 5 in earned run average in August. But it's Daniel Hudson, the kid the Diamondbacks got from the Chicago White Sox. Hey, follow the Phillies on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com At Bat 2010. It features play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Phillies.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details. And with 2 outs, here's Raul Ibanez. Ibanez 8 for 32 on the homestand. .250 average, a home run and 5 runs batted in. And it's even 1 ball and 1 strike. Another curve, and it's 3-1.
This is a recording.
5 3 ball counts.
And they just haven't been able to make him pay for this. Should be able to pitch behind like this and get hitters out.
There's ball 4. They appeal. No swing, says the third base umpire Brian Knight. First base runner of the day for the Phillies. And with 2 outs, it'll bring Shane Victorino to the plate. Shane overall is hitting .254 with 15 home runs and 56 RBIs. His numbers this year have been better from the right side of the plate, which is his natural side. In fact, from the right side of the plate, Shane's hitting .339 with 5 of his career high 15 home runs.
He doesn't appear to be jumping as much from the right side as he is from the left on off speed stuff.
Well, he gets a fastball in the first pitch, and he's behind 0-1. in the dirt and evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Rodriguez basically 3 pitches: fastball, curveball, and changeup. And he'll go fastball, curveball for the most part. He will use his changeup, but he's a 2-pitch guy and effective. Different planes. And remember, he has a very good move, and Ibanez is not going to. He's not going anywhere, so he's going to take a short, cautious lead.
Back toward the middle, Sanchez to his left. He's got it. Flips over to second, and the side is retired. So the Phillies are still looking for their first hit this afternoon against Wandy Rodriguez. He strands one. We go to the third, and Hunter Pence is due to lead it off. The fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wills, the question is, who was the last Astros pitcher before Roy Oswalt in 04 and 05 to record back-to-back 20-win seasons? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. You have an idea of that one?
Yeah.
One of the Astros.
I'll have a guess on that one. Yeah.
One of the Astros pitchers who is among the top 5 in wins is Jim DeShays, and he's in town doing the game for the Astros with Bill Brown on their television network. In fact, Wandy Rodriguez is right on the heels of Jim DeShays in the all-time wins list in Houston history.
JD's a guy who struck out 8 consecutive batters one night. It was the Dodgers at the Dome, at the old Astrodome, and we went through that a few weeks ago when somebody was doing that, and came up. Someone else has done that since. I think that's what it was, but 8 in a row he struck out.
Well, and the stunning thing is that Jim DeShays was not an overpowering pitcher.
He had that deceptive high fastball they used to chase. I think his last game was in a Phillies uniform.
Off the end of the bat, a spinner out towards second. Chase hustles, gets to it, and throws out Pence for the first out. And there is Jim DeShays, the clean-shaven Jim DeShays. He's a nice man, and he was a heck of a pitcher in the big leagues. He won 61 games for the Astros. He has the 3rd most wins by a left-hander in Astros history, and Wandy Rodriguez is right behind him.
1995, he pitched a game at Wrigley Field when we all went up to Cooperstown to see Whitey get inducted, and Mike Schmidt, and pretty sure that was his last major league game. It, as you would say, didn't go well for him.
Didn't go well?
No. Well, we didn't see it, but we heard about it.
Life is pretty good for him now.
Yeah, he didn't pitch very long for the Phillies. As I said, he was with the club in '95, and to look it up, and he didn't have a whole lot of appearances.
There's Carlos Lee, who has an RBI today, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Lee. Lee doubled his last time up. That ball was really moving. Not only as it was coming in, but also after it left the bat of Lee, it went over the screen behind the plate.
Well, that's what they try to do to get him out, is jamming. You know, Carlos Lee, like all power hitters, wants to get extended. And the book on him has always been try and get in. But he was at one time really quick. See it come running in on him. He's not as quick as he used to be because, you know, there's some mirrors on that frame. But every once in a while, you know, he'll still open up and get you.
Lays off a low pitch, and it's 3-2. Well, he had an 11-game hitting streak here at the ballpark end last night. An 11-game hitting streak at Citizens Bank Park. He was 0 for 4, but he's picked up right where he left off with a double today and an RBI.
There he comes in there again. You guys showed that 3-home run game here the other night. I saw you showing that video, and 2 of them were off Brett Myers. Good play back there off to our left.
He was fortunate that his friend moved for him to make that play.
Big glove.
Looks like it's broken in nicely, too.
Yeah, pitcher or outfielder's glove working.
Over to third. That's a foul ball. And it remains full 3-2. Wheels, just to wrap up the story on Jim Deshaies and his 2 games with the Phillies.
2. I told you it was brief.
I think you were there for the first one.
I was.
The 25th of July.
I think they were brief and ineffective appearances.
He's going to get self-conscious because we could keep putting him on the air. But 4 innings, 10 hits, and 6 earned runs against the Rockies. And then he followed it up with an inning and a third, 5 hits, and 6 earned runs against the Cubs.
Not real good.
In the air to left field. That's going to leave the ballpark. A solo home run for Carlos Lee, his 18th of the year. 23rd home run allowed by Kyle. And it's 3-0 Houston. Boy, he loves hitting in this ballpark.
Yeah, and he loves hitting those high sinkers. So Kendrick had tried to get in on him a few times and did. That he fouled off, and this one didn't get in there. Watch. Well, you see it better from the center field camera. That's a great shot of his swing. But look at that. That sinker came running right back over the middle of the plate, and boom. And they're throwing a picket fence up there right now.
Well, that's the 2nd home run Lee has hit in the series. And here's Chris Johnson. Carlos Lee has 5 hits in the series, but he's made them count. There's the picket fence.
Keep trying to play from behind. You know, it's a tough stretch they're in right now. And it's not going to get any easier starting tomorrow night with Latos.
8th career home run here at Citizens Bank Park. He came into the series hitting over 400 here at the ballpark during his hitting streak. And it's continued. He's now hit in 12 of 13. Here at Citizens Bank Park. 1-2 the count to Johnson. And that's a long foul ball. Swing and a miss. He got him. And that is the first strikeout for Kyle. 2 away here in the 3rd. And that'll bring Brett Wallace to the plate. Wallace popped out to short his first time up. Mentioned that Wallace has been pretty well traveled since he was picked by the Cardinals in 2008 in the first round selection. And with the Cards that year, he had 5 home runs in Quad Cities and then hit 3 home runs in Springfield. Was then sent by the Cardinals to the A's in the middle of last season in the Matt Halladay deal. And he is celebrating his 24th birthday today. Kyle's 26. Brett Wallace is 24. Anyway, last year in 3 different levels, or for 3 different teams, Wallace had 20 home runs. This year he had 18 home runs for the Blue Jays AAA affiliate. That's into foul territory off the third base back. Polanco on the run, and he just missed getting there.
Wasn't hit very high. See, he really couldn't get himself under control to look for the fence coming up or the message board out there. If it's hit higher, probably had a chance to catch it.
Oh, that one's hit high enough, yeah. You can get any one of the 4 infielders under that one. It'll be Jimmy Rollins who makes the call behind the mound, makes the catch, and the side is retired. A run on the home run by Carlos Lee, his second RBI of the day, second homer of the series. We've played 2.5. It's the Astros 3 and the Phillies nothing. Low office product prices by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's National Clearance Event. Well, last of the third, Brian Schneider leads it off in front of a sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Everybody's soaking in the sunshine here at this great ballpark. Phillies reached 100 consecutive sellouts earlier on the homestand, and that run continues. Last night was the 106th sellout. And today, on a day when the Phillies honored Roy Halladay for his perfect game, it will be sellout number 107 in a row. And there were great ceremonies that took place before the game. Roy was presented with a beautiful ring. His uniform, which he wore that night in Florida, framed. And then his 2 boys were presented with bronze casts of Roy's hand holding a pitch. Oh, it was unbelievable.
Well, Phillies really do a lot of things right. You know, in the last few years, more than a few years, they've won too. But when it comes to that sort of stuff, good as anybody. And players will tell you that, the way they take care of the players here.
2-2 the count to Schneider, and he backs off a breaking ball. Another three ball count for Rodriguez.
Well, they've hurt Kendrick in some deep counts, and the Phillies haven't been able to do it yet to Rodriguez.
And a pop up behind home plate. That'll be out of play. catch by a gentleman in the front row of the Hall of Fame club. Wow. He was inches away from just smashing that hand on the railing.
He caught that ball.
That was a really good play. And somebody just said happy birthday to him. So if it is his birthday, well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. You didn't break a finger.
Breaking ball, swung on it, missed. And that's the first strikeout for Wandy Rodriguez, one away. Well, here's what happened before the ball game today. Mentioned that Roy Halladay was presented with a number of gifts. Dan Baker, the Phillies public address announcer, introduced the prizes or the presents, and Roy's wife received a pendant, which was gorgeous, and his 2 young boys. There's the bronze, the cast bronze hands from Roy Halladay holding a pitch, and the baseballs that were part of those statues, those busts, were game balls from that night.
Boy, is that a neat item. The collectors all over the world are going to go, I want that.
Yeah, that is neat. And it is heavy. And Carlos Ruiz was presented with a ring commemorating that perfect game.
And home plate.
And home plate. From Sun Life Stadium. The Dick Perez print. I mean, that was unbelievable in its own style.
You know, Dick's done such great work around here for going back into the 70s.
Kendrick down on strikes, 2 away. Here's that Dick Perez print. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the Phillies. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Marlins. And the hand sculpture with the game ball from that night. And there's the ring which Carlos Ruiz received. Has the line score on the side, the date, the 20th perfect game in MLB history.
Dick Perez just started out as a local artist. Now he's, of course, the Hall of Fame guy. Hall of Fame representative artist. And very proud of him. A great guy who used to see a lot of him. I haven't seen that much of him in the last few years, but Dick's a good man and does really good work.
There's Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy grounded to third his first time up. So he's 0 for 1. And he bounces one to third again. Snagged by Chris Johnson, who fires to first. Another 1-2-3 inning for Wandy Rodriguez. Rodriguez is not allowed a hit through the first 3 innings. We go to the 4th with the Astros on top. Office supplies from WB Mason for amazingly low prices on office supplies, furniture, cleaning supplies, kitchen snacks, and Green Mountain coffee. Who but WB Mason? Well, we go to the 4th. Gary Matthews joins us here in the booth. And Sarge, we're hoping that your arrival to the booth will bring some offense, because you were an offensive guy.
Every time I come here, we don't have any hits. What is going on with you and Wills?
Well, we're trying to break that. We're going to try to break that slide in the bottom of the fourth. First, though, Kyle's going to try to get through a top of the fourth without allowing a run.
Yeah, kind of getting that ball out over the plate and needs to throw more sliders maybe to that Carlos Lee. He's been throwing change-ups along with that fastball. When he gets it in, he's able to jam them. When he gets out of the ballpark, they jam it out of the ballpark. And 3-0 so far.
Yeah, 1 run in each inning so far for the Astros. And a liner to left coming on is Ibanez, and it goes right off his glove and between his legs. Sanchez on his way to second, and the throw by Raul on 1 hop, not in time. And Sanchez has 2 hits today. They scored a double all the way.
Look at Ibanez as he comes in and tries to dive. Sometimes you might want to play it on the hop. That's a do or die play. A lot of times you'll dive, you'll be straight out as opposed to kind of laying down and kind of blocking that ball there, if you will. Been there, done that.
Well, it looked like he got there, Sarge. It just hit off the tip of his glove.
Tip of the glove, and had a little sink on the ball that was coming in.
So a leadoff double for Sanchez, and here's Jason Castro, who singled his first time up. 7 hits so far for the Astros through the first 4. And he's a little late on that pitch, and it's 0-2. He missed a spot, but that looked like a pretty close pitch.
Now, guys don't get called out on a lot of calls, strike 3. I mean, it almost has to be right down the middle. I've seen a lot of calls that are just off the plate or maybe on the corner that hasn't been called. Like there.
A little low to Sam Holbrook's liking, and it's 2-2 to Castro. There's Sam, the crew chief.
Sam says he doesn't like to be noticed in a game. Certainly doesn't want to be on ESPN, he says, ever.
Right side, that'll get the runner over to third. Utley throws out Castro. 1 away. So 1 gone, and to bring Wandy Rodriguez, the pitcher, to the plate. There's Ryan Howard. Ryan playing first today, back in the starting lineup. Scott Barry, who ejected him from the game 2 nights ago, is the first base umpire. Umpire ejects you from a game, Sarge. Is there any conversation the next time you're standing next to him?
Players hold grudges too. I mean, that's, and you should know, the umpire's a little bit different. I mean, it should be where he would come out, hey, how you doing? One thing should not last to the next, because he'll be behind the plate at one time. So you don't want to have any hard feelings going into that particular ball game.
The infield is in, and the first pitch to Rodriguez is taken inside and low. Rodriguez had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. In the air to right field. That's well hit. Over the head of Jason Worth and off the scoreboard. Sanchez scores easily from third. A long RBI single for Wandy Rodriguez. It's 4-0 Astros.
Wow. That might have been one of the harder hit balls besides Carlos Lee. Rodriguez only gets a single off of a ball that he hits off the wall. The only reason of that is because it comes right back. You see the swing against that front foot. Ball kind of more middle. As he drives it in and gets himself an RBI.
And now the top of the order is up with a runner at first. 4-0 Houston. We saw the line score up on the scoreboard. And the picket fence continues.
There it is as it goes a line drive type. See it coming off the wall. Now, if it doesn't go to Jason, it'd probably end up being a double.
1-1 the count to Bourne, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Well, he nearly got Michael to go after that changeup. That's what you want to try to do, is get that changeup to the outside part of the plate, and maybe he can pull it into a double play. Although he runs so well, it's tough to double him up.
Yeah, it's going to have to be one of those hard hit balls. And Michael runs from that left side. That's almost an added step.
Sarge, I've talked to Michael a few times since he left Philadelphia. To do it all over again, would he be a good switch hitting candidate, you think?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, he would obviously have to, I think, go to winter ball and then feel comfortable the same way he would on the other side.
And I say that because he's a leadoff hitter. He has very good speed. He's athletic. I know he probably can't do it now, but if you look back to his days in the minors, I mean, could he have been a candidate for that?
There's a good possibility that he could have been a switch hitter. Larry Bourne made himself into a switch hitter.
Ball got away. Rodriguez going to try for second. The throw by Schneider on one hop, and he is out at second base. Wandy Rodriguez is thinking, do I argue this? I think I got in there.
Well, that's a good throw and a pretty good tag there. J-Row, as he puts the tag on him, looked like he was slided by. Now take a look at it. Judge for yourself to see whether or not he ends up getting him.
If he got him, it looks like he got the tail end of his jersey.
Yeah, pitcher running close enough. Here it is again. One hop as he throws it. Pretty good angle, though, ump had on it.
Bourne off the end of the bat. A flare down the left field line. Ibanez is there, and the side is retired. But the Astros tack on one more with an RBI single from Wandy Rodriguez. We've played 3.5. The Phils still looking for their first hit. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF-NOW and buy your participating Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. Bottom of the fourth. Well, today is Brett Wallace's 24th birthday. I mentioned that it's Kyle Kendrick's 26th birthday. A number of famous people that have been born on this day. And it's also Ricky Bottalico's birthday. So, Sarge, I don't know if you saw Ricky today, but if you do see him, I want you to bring a cake, maybe have some candles, and wish him a happy birthday.
Well, we're going to have to do that. I saw him in the hall, but I didn't know it was his birthday.
See, that's rude on your part. I haven't seen him, but when I see him, I will wish him a happy birthday.
We'll see him again today, I'm sure.
41 years young, Ricky Vitalico. So, Ricky, happy birthday.
He's got to feel that he should probably still be pitching after looking at some of the things that's going on around the league.
Chase Utley leads things off here at the bottom of the fourth. The Phillies still looking for their first hit. And Chase is behind 0-2. Rodriguez has had a lot of 3-ball counts this afternoon. And Chase hit one right on the nose his first time up, lined out to right. And he bounces one to first, scooped up by Wallace. One away. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Milwaukee Brewers have lost 3 straight. Well, the Dodgers lead them 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Manny Ramirez, and they said this, Manny Ramirez is not in the starting lineup. According to reports, he was placed on waivers by the Dodgers, and the expectation is that he will be claimed by somebody. Most folks are pointing toward the Chicago White Sox, and that he will eventually be traded to the White Sox. We'll see.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor that he might go to the White Sox.
The other team that folks have talked about are the Red Sox.
Going back home. God, I thought he might have burnt all those bridges. I had heard maybe even the Rays, but you know, he is a pretty good hitter. I mean, there's no question about that. Now, whether or not he's going to be able to get his timing and get back to the way that Manny Ramirez hits, that remains to be seen. He's lost a lot of time and not seen Major League pitching.
And signed to Polanco, it's 2-1. Would you agree, Sarge, that it's time for Manny to go back to the American League so he doesn't have to play left field every day?
Well, I don't know if he just wants to be the DH, but you know, I mean, he can be with any team, and obviously doesn't give you the effort defensively like he does offensively. But if there's someone that could just go and just DH and not have to worry about playing in the field, you would think that he would be able to do it.
2-2 the count to Polanco. Over to shortstop. Sanchez charges, has it, throws off balance. And the Phillies are still looking for their first hit. And there are 2 away. Hey, it's your chance to own one of the one-of-a-kind Fanatic Around Town statues, including one signed by the entire 2010 team. The online auction will begin tomorrow and will run through the 30th of September. Each week, a different set of statues, and there are the statues, will be auctioned off. The net proceeds will benefit Phillies charities. See the Fanatic Around Town in the fans section at Phillies.com for information and to bid. Here's Ryan Howard, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Ryan flat out short his first time up.
He's got a pretty good little curveball that he throws. Not afraid to throw it. And he pitches backwards, meaning a lot of times pitchers will go out and throw you fastball, establish that, and then go to the breaking ball. He does the opposite. Throws the breaking ball. Coming with a fastball there. Fastball not very hard. 88, 87.
Rodriguez won 14 games last year, earned run average of 3.02, and he just struck out Ryan Howard to retire the side in order. 3 strikeouts for Rodriguez. He is now through 4 innings without allowing a hit. We've played our first 4 here at Citizens Bank Park. Wandy Rodriguez, one curve after another in a 4-0 lead. And the latest is the Eagles prepare for their preseason matchup against Kansas City against the Chiefs. All this and more tonight at 6 on Wachovia Sports Night right here on Comcast Sports Night. That would be in Kansas City against the Chiefs. Anderson Hernandez leads it off here in the top of the 5th. 4-0 Houston. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Kyle Kendrick has allowed 4 runs today on 8 hits. His counterpart, Wandy Rodriguez, has allowed no runs, but is not allowed a hit. Hernandez is 1 for 2.
Now, Rodriguez not a pitcher, though, that should be able to handle this particular team in terms of the lineup, I should say, in terms of them not having a hit at all.
There's still plenty of time with the Phillies trailing it by 4, but they got to get things rolling.
So important, however, to try and square as many balls up as you can, and you'll get to where you're not just trying to hit that ball out, you're just trying to hit the ball hard.
Hernandez lays off. It's 1-2. We just saw a shot of Charlie in the dugout, and Charlie was saying the other day that as the Phillies prepare for the final week of games here in August and this final long road trip to San Diego, Los Angeles, and Colorado, Hernandez scalds it to straightaway center. Victorino going back makes the catch. 1 away. I asked Charlie, I said, will you remind the players about this stretch run, how important it is, trailing at 2.5 games to the Braves, tied for the lead in the wild card. And he said, Tom, I've had enough meetings this year. He said, I may talk to them individually one by one. He said, but all these guys that you're seeing out on the field, they've been part of the success in this city the last few years. They know what's at stake. He said, if I have to have another meeting to talk about it, well, he said, we might be in trouble. He said, so I'll go individually. He said, but there won't be any team meetings.
Well, he's right, though. Individuals know what they have to do, and they know what they have to do as a team. But when things go wrong, I mean, and no one is hitting, these are the problems that you have. We've seen it before. You have certain guys on the team that can just carry the team by themselves. We've seen Carlos Ruiz do that, and Utley and Ryan Howard, obviously, they can carry the team. I haven't seen it where you're going through the year, and especially at this time in August. I mean, this is when you usually have your stroke and you're feeling good about yourself.
Off the end of the bat, a base hit for Pence. And Hunter Pence has his first hit of the day and 5th hit of the series. It sounded like he may have even broken his bat.
Off the end a little bit.
Well, I think that's a good point on your part, Sarge, that at this point of the year, you know this better than anybody. This is usually where, as a hitter, you are hitting your stride.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're seeing the ball well. I mean, calluses on your hand are all tough, so you should be just, at least hitting that ball hard. If you're not getting the hits, that's one thing. But you got to be able to continue to hit the ball hard to have success in this league. And even then, a lot of time, balls will be right at the fielders. If you're only hitting it hard once a game, you can't expect to have a lot of success.
Over toward third. Polanco backs up on it. Throws to second for 1. And Utley throws over to first. He hesitated a little bit, but gets the double play. I don't think Chase thought he had a chance to get Carlos Lee. He looked up and realized that Lee was still a pretty good distance from the bag, and he fired a strike to Ryan Howard. 5-4-3 to finish up the top of the 5th. beginning of a 3-game series. Friday the 3rd is Goya Latino Family Celebration here at the ballpark. You can get your tickets for that series and then the Marlins series, which is right after that, including the day-night doubleheader on Labor Day by going to Phillies.com. Well, the wind is a-blowing here in South Philadelphia as Jason Worth leads it off. In the bottom of the 5th, the Phillies have been held hitless so far through 4 innings. Wandy Rodriguez has done a nice job keeping the Phillies off balance with that pitch right there.
Doing it again as he's starting him off speed. Jason, though, however, looks to be a little bit closer to the plate as opposed where we've seen him before. Still need to be taking that shoulder right back toward the pitcher, not sitting down. So he kind of bails on that a little bit where he's just not having as good balance. And Jason is one of those players that should be able to drive that ball out of the field or right field. You got to have good balance in order to do that.
Line drive, base hit it to left, the first hit of the day for the Phils. I think everything you just said, Sarge, closer to the plate, good balance, all of that came through on that swing by Jason.
That's a pretty good pitch, too, as he had this ball. Look at the break on it, but because he is closer, and then again, look at his balance as he goes down and gets that ball, follows it right there with his eyes. Hands appeared to be back a little bit as he drove the ball into left field.
Well, now here's Raul Ibanez. So for the second time today, Wandy Rodriguez works from the stretch. The other time was in the second when he walked Ibanez. He's allowed only 2 base runners today. He's pitched well, and he has a 4-0 lead. And Castro keeps Worth at first, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Get that first hit, starts to take a little pressure off of the club where you're not thinking about a no-hitter. Now need to start to chip away. Plenty of innings to get back into this game.
Line drive to right. There's another hit for the Phils. That one's heading to the corner. Worth is heading to third. Sam holds him up at third. It's a double for Ibanez, and the Phillies have runners on second and third with nobody out.
Smart play there by Sam Palazzo, third base coach. You don't want to run into an out when you're down 4-0. You take a chance on the other guy. Look at that pitch there. Pretty good pitch that he hit. As Ibanez cruises right into second base. Hunter Pence getting that ball in.
Well, Raul is safe and secure at second. Safe and secure. New York life. So 2 in scoring position. The infield settles back, so they're giving the Phils a run. But they'd like a little bit more with Shane Victorino at the plate. And he takes a pitch low. It's 1-0. Now we're heading toward the bottom of the order here for the Phillies in the bottom of the 5th. Kyle Kendrick is due up after Brian Schneider, and Chad Durbin is throwing in the bullpen for the Phillies.
Just with ABC baseball, meaning hit that ball the other way to second baseman, you end up getting a run, and then Ibanez at second can move over to third. Again, not thinking about hitting out, just thinking about getting the job done. Deep fly ball will do the same thing. Base hit is a plus.
He tries to go the other way, and he's down in the count 1-2.
That's a good try. Now with 2 strikes, you just want to hit the ball and hopefully hit the ball hard someplace.
See the runners leading off. Worth off third. Ibanez off second. When you're struggling like the Phils are, you kind of get greedy, hoping for a little bit more from Shane. And he's down on strikes. 1 away. 4 strikeouts for Rodriguez.
It's a high fastball, it appeared. out of the zone, not a strike.
So Rodriguez retires, the Phil's leading hitter with runners in scoring position. And Brian Schneider struck out his first time up.
Thought he had a pretty good pitch to hit. That pitch before the strikeout when he fouled that ball off. There's that breaking ball again. First pitch. Got to be able to get something out of this situation.
Pence coming on. Makes the grab. Worth tanks from third. He's going to go. The throw to the plate on one hop, and he is out at home plate. He tried to avoid the tag, and Castro, who went up the line, stayed with him, and then tapped Jason Worth on the side, and the side is retired. 9th outfield assist of the season for Hunter Pence, and that double play finishes up the bottom of the 5th for the Phils. Consecutive sellouts at Citizens Bank Park. Since July 7th of last season, the Fightin' Faithful have filled every seat and every available standing room space to support their two-time defending National League champions. It's one thing to be a proud Philadelphia Phillies fan. It's a whole other level to fill up the ballpark every single game. Your loyalty is remarkable, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, the fans have been incredible. Jason Worth was just thrown out trying to score on a fly ball to right to finish up the bottom of the 5th. Hunter Pence, who had 8 outfield assists coming into this ball game, threw a one-hop strike to Jason Castro, the Astros catcher, and that finished up the inning. We go to the top of the 6th. Chris Johnson leads it off for Houston. And he pops the first pitch toward right. Jason Worth over toward the line. And he makes the catch as he battles the sky. And one away. Sarge, break this down. What are the reasons why Jason goes on this play?
Well, simply the pitcher's coming up next. As you see a one-hand swing there by Snyder. Now, he could have taken off and kind of followed that ball a little bit to see if it was on target and then maybe got back. The other thing might have had to be a collision going in and seeing whether or not he could hold that ball. The catcher could hold the ball if he's coming in. But that's a decision there, that judgment for the runner for me. Jason's good base runner. Well, we've seen him in the past, but here lately he's been messing up quite a bit. But that's a chance of trying to force something, trying to make something happen when you're down, and it just didn't happen.
Wallace hits it hard toward first. It's gobbled up by Ryan Howard for the second out. And with the offensive problems the Phillies have had recently, does that weigh on a base runner or a coach's mind? And I think the biggest point that you made is that Kyle Kendrick's spot was up next. They may have pinch hit for Kendrick.
I'm sure they would have, because Durbin was actually warming up. But base running there, if you think you're going to be able to make it Only thing I saw on that one, though, because Hunter Pence's ball wasn't hit really deep, and his momentum was carrying him in, and he has a good arm.
Right.
So, you know, he had that all going against him. Even so, though, throw has to be right on the money,
and
which it was. So give credit to Hunter Pence, and again, the woes for the Phillies continue in trying to get runners in and scoring position.
Inside Sanchez 2-0. But as a base runner, you would have held up, or maybe gone halfway.
Well, I probably, you know what, it's hard to say. I mean, I would have started down exactly the way that Jason was, and kind of looking at him, since it was up pretty close to get a ground ball. And if it was on target, I might have decided to go back. And if I didn't, I can guarantee you one thing: it would have been a collision at home plate.
No runs, no hits, nobody left for the Astros. Bottom of the 6th, the Phillies trail it by 4. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Oh, sold out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Kids soaking it in. A couple weeks away from going back to school. Boy, the summer's gone by pretty quick. And Ben Francisco will pinch hit for the Phillies as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Kyle Kendrick, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. And usually the Phillies score runs for him, but the Phillies have not scored this afternoon. Swing and bunt up the third base line. Rodriguez off the hill, sets himself and fires, not in time.
Well, there's your answer there, because if he pinch hit with nobody on, he certainly would have pinch hit in that situation there.
I agree with that.
Would have been 2 outs. Rodriguez picking up that swinging bunt. Takes a long time as he gets ready to throw it. He tried to, see how he kind of wound up there? Tried to make it up as he comes in there. Swinging bunt. There goes Francisco. He gets across there.
Well, 3 hits now for the Phillies, and they've got a base runner to start the bottom of the 6th for the top of the order. And Rollins takes one inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, we were always taught early on, when you're on the bases, you keep your eye on the ball. And if you do that, good things will always happen to you. You'll always be able to get back to the base. But what happens if you drop your head at all, or you're not paying attention, bad things will happen to you.
And that was the case last night with Francisco getting picked off third.
And that was odd, too, because he didn't know exactly where he was with the bag. He was almost right on it. But again, if you're looking at the ball all the way, and that shouldn't even come into play. Should have been right back there on the bag. You always got to keep your eye right on the ball. And if you do, you can see that as he gets back. going back now. He just forgets. See there? There he goes there where he's not looking at the ball.
And that's what
and for you
Quintero
youngsters out there. And he almost tripped over the bag as he was going back. So he was actually on the bag, but he didn't know where he was. Panicked when he heard the throw or Sam Palazzo saying, get back.
Johnson backhands behind the bag. There's one over to first, not in time. That's a heck of a play by Chris Johnson. Even to get one at second.
Boy, already displaying a strong arm and soft hands we've seen so far there in the series. Again, J-Ro hitting that ball hard, hustling down the line. You see, backhands that ball, a little bit of a high throw, but the throw was bounced. No chance to get him when you're going to bounce a throw.
Well, with one away, Jimmy takes his lead off first. Chase Utley, the hitter, and he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Chase this afternoon is lined out to right, grounded to first. That's a better move right there by Rodriguez. The scouting reports say that his move is very close to a balk, which is the case for a lot of left-handers.
Yeah, especially the ones that throw over quite a bit.
Kind of quick pitch chase there, and it's down and away for the first ball. It's 1-1.
Steve Carlton, as you know, used to kind of come up and almost pause a little bit. I've always thought when they came up slow, if they see you taking off, they can just throw right over. I mean, we've seen that happen before. If his foot passes that rubber, however, he has to go home.
I think one of the best at that currently is Jamie Moyer, where he hangs his foot, and if he sees the runner go, then he's over.
That's a good point, because he's the one that actually does that. Andy Pettit of the Yankees has a real good move for a left-hander. Just an added weapon, though, for that pitcher, because what you'll do is stop that running game and stop the guys from running on you, getting in the scoring position. Oh, you can't get gun shy, though. A big part of the game for the Phillies is to run. You know, and if J-Ro gets a jump, you got to go.
Line drive, base hit to right. Heading down to the corner. Rollins around second, heading to third. Pence waits for it. That may have cost him. Rollins around third, heading home. The throw is late, and the Phillies are on the board. An RBI double for Chase Utley. th RBI of the season for Chase.
That's one of the few balls he's actually scalded there as he gets out on the fastball right down the line there as it goes in. And look how it hooks. That enables J-Ro to get all the way around, even though Pence throws a pretty good relay. No chance to get J-Ro as he comes across the plate. Good base running by Utley and not taking a chance and going to third and getting called out there. Now you got two chances to get him in.
Yeah, the Phillies get one run or even two. This game will be totally different. Look at Jimmy running around. His foot looks like it's healthy right now.
Well, it sure does. There's some of that speed coming into play.
2-0 the count to Polanco. Holly 3 for 13 in the series against the Astros.
Now you can see how big situations come up in scoring this run. If you're able to get one or two last inning, now you're right back in it. Just makes their work a little bit more difficult.
Fly ball down the left field line. Lee and Sanchez. It's Sanchez. Look for Lee and then maybe Johnson. And Polanco gets another chance. That's a huge break. It's a tough sky today on this gorgeous day. Light blue up above, and he may have lost the ball, but I think he also was wondering where his teammates were.
Well, you know one thing for sure. Carlos Lee is not going to be involved with any kind of collision or whatever. And he's going like, now what is going on? You know, somebody should be a little bit closer to that ball.
I think Sanchez thought Lee was going to make the catch.
And vice versa. I think that Carlos actually stopped so he wouldn't feel that there would be no collision. Sanchez could go on and just catch that ball, but maybe he didn't see it.
Well, with a new opportunity for Polanco, let's see if the Phillies can take advantage against Wandy Rodriguez.
Well, this is what we've been accustomed to when teams have made mistakes. There's a kid that's really happy. He's already got the rally hat on. But when they made mistakes, they've been able to capitalize on them. And that's what has made them as good a ball club as they've been the last couple of years. Almost been the other way around where they've been taken advantage of on mistakes that they've made.
Ollie, a .282 hitter with runners in scoring position. And he has Chase at second base with one man down. Over to third. Johnson doesn't even look it up. He still throws across the diamond for the second out.
Well, he stayed right there on it. Top spin on that ball.
Here's Ryan Howard. Ryan is 0 for 2 today, 1 for 14 in the series. 9 strikeouts during the series, including 1 this afternoon.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and go at Howard, especially with Jason Worth coming up behind him, a right-handed hitter. If the guys are guessing, let me tell you, they haven't been doing a good job this series of it. Well, this is a fastball hitting club, and I keep saying that. But we keep taking a lot of fastballs and swinging at pitches that we can't hit, as in the breaking ball. Much easier to hit that fastball, and even if it's 98, 97 or so, as opposed to a good breaking ball that might be in the 70s or the 80s, just because of the break of the ball. And they haven't been hanging a lot of those pitches. And I mean, if you're hanging them, it's a little different story.
Because if you're hanging them.
Oh, yeah, you know the story. They're going to bang them. But right now, they've been getting good break on them and difficult to hit them.
Ryan lays off, and it's 1-2.
Still like to see a base hit. A lot of holes that are open with the way they have this shift. Just looking for a base hit to get back in the game.
See the shift that Sarge is talking about. Sanchez, the shortstop, shaded toward the middle. The second baseman Hernandez is out in shallow right.
There's shallow right there.
2-2 the count to Ryan Howard. Ryan has not homered since the 27th of July. And he's down on strikes. Rodriguez allows his first run of the afternoon on an RBI double by Chase Utley, but then comes back to strike out Ryan Howard for the second time today and strand a runner in scoring position.
Time now for the Verizon Wireless game summary. The Houston Astros trying to sweep the Phillies here. They went with that picket fence right out of the chute. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the Phillies wasted a second and third, nobody out. And then the last inning, second and third, one out, got one out of it. So, you know, they just continue to struggle offensively. Wandy Rodriguez, through 6 innings, has given up the 1 run on 4 hits, and they'll turn it over to J.C. Romero, Tommy.
Yeah, J.C. Romero picks up for Kyle Kendrick. This is the 45th game for J.C. 1-0, a 3.86 ERA. Kendrick allowed 4 runs on 9 hits over 6 innings. He retired the last 4 batters he faced. And now it's up to the bullpen to keep the Phillies within reach. Jason Castro leads it off for Houston here in the top of the 7th. Wandy Rodriguez is out in the on-deck circle, so he's going to get a chance to bat here.
Yeah, he knocked in a run. And he is a switch hitter, I guess. Even for pitchers, they used to keep the switch hitter numbers on the stat sheet, but they don't have a breakdown on him as a switch hitter.
They probably thought he was just kidding.
Well, the guy used to confuse him was Padilla, because he'd go up there against a right-hander, bat right-handed. Then he'd go up the next time, bat left-handed.
3-0 the count to Castro. When Padilla used to do it, we used to ask Larry Boa about it, and Larry would say, I don't know what he's doing.
Really? In any facet of his game.
Phillies bullpen over the last 7 games has an earned run average of 2.59. That one's hit softly back toward the middle. Chase to his right. 1 away. Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They were to the prize pack. Compliments of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
And about right-handed. Remember last year in that game down in Houston, we talked about it earlier. He battled Cliff Lee. Lee had that really tough inning. They may have batted around, in fact. And he kept fouling balls off. Then he shot a ball into the right field corner, knocked in either 2 or 3 runs. And that was one of those games. Cliff didn't have a whole lot of those, but he had a bad night.
Strike on the outside corner. Rodriguez against lefties, 176 for his career. He has an RBI today, left-handed. He hit the ball right to the wall against Kyle Kendrick his last time up. Forget the rally hats. Got a little rally beer going there.
I listen to Sarge. so do we. every day. That's right.
And some of those conversations are priceless.
Many. He loves it when I come in with the wrong shirt, doesn't he?
He does. He was kind of hoping for it today.
I figured he'd have the wrong shirt today because you had to send out a text or an email on it today.
2 outs.
You must have called him. Tell me.
I sent him a text.
You didn't call him?
I didn't. He reads text messages. He just doesn't send text messages. He hasn't figured that part out.
So you didn't know if he got it?
I assumed he did. Usually when I text message him and tell him what shirt we're wearing, he'll call me back. And that's the way he responds. He stopped doing that the last couple of times, but he has gotten the text message.
It was tough today not to know red with Phillies white P.
Well, the key will be tomorrow if he's wearing the red with the Phillies Television Network logo on it or not, if he understood everything.
What am I laughing about?
He throws off his hat.
Well, that's it.
Collection.
Right.
More than anything else.
Right. He's into fashion combo.
Michael Bourne takes a strike, and it's 0-2 to Michael. He's 1 for 3. He's flied out to left twice. He's singled and driven in a run. Sounded like he may have broken his bat, and JC may have enabled Michael Bourne to reach first as he lost his shoe again. That's the second time this year he's lost his shoe. I don't know if Chase would have thrown out Michael Bourne because Michael runs so well and the ball wasn't hit that hard. But Bourne has a second hit.
Yeah, it would have been tough no matter what. Because JC made a good pitch on Michael Bourne. He jams him here.
This is a really good pitch.
Yeah, and it's just rolling really slowly. It's just no way to tell. You know, Romero probably had the best shot.
What is up with his shoes?
I don't know, he threw another one.
Remember, he had that play earlier this year where he lost his shoe over at first base.
Not tying him tight enough.
He has to double knot it.
Boy Scouts to get his Weeblos badge. I think that's what that was called back in those days. Cub Scouts, something like that. He had to tie a lot of knots.
JC keeps Michael Bourne close. Michael has not run today. He has 42 stolen bases this season.
He was on one time and didn't run.
He's gone, and they've got him picked off. Ryan Howard steps up and fires, not in time.
Remember when he did that to Cole Hamels a few times last year? He doesn't mind when you do that. You know, he's gone. So the odds are you're not going to throw him out anyway.
Yeah, in fact, Ryan did everything right. The throw was a little high.
Most guys, exactly. You're going to get him. He did. He does everything right here. He comes off, gets good position, good. Jimmy gives him a good angle, throws a little bit high. Most runners in the league that leave early like that will be out. Michael Bourne just outruns the baseball.
Even if the throw was down a little bit, he still would have been safe. Hernandez, fly ball down the right field line. Worth on the run, and he runs out of room. That stolen base by Bourne is 43rd of the year. And it's his 3rd of the series. Phillies playing today. The Braves are off today. So the Phillies, if they win this afternoon, can pull to within 2 games of the National League East leaders. Braves play the Marlins in a series at home beginning this weekend. Swinging bunt up the third baseline. Tough play. Polanco bare hands, throws a little high. Bourne's coming home. The throw by Ryan Howard. Not in time. Michael Bourne slides to the backside of the plate, and it's 5-1 Houston.
See that coming. As soon as he threw it, you knew that Michael Bourne was going to keep on coming. Now Sam Holbrook's telling Polanco to get out of there. Oh, here we go.
Charlie Manuel's coming out. It's an RBI for Hernandez because Bourne just kept on coming.
He had to deal with a bat too. He slid in there head first, went right into the bat. I mean, if he catches the plate, he beats it by a lot. See, here he comes. He's got it.
And he's got the plate.
And there comes the bat up. He had to push the bat away with his other hand. Schneider tried to put his foot down.
Watch Michael Bourne. Watch, he doesn't stop.
No.
Right there, he's gone.
No, he would. You wonder if he even made sure Polanco threw that, because if Polanco fakes it, he's got him in a run down there. But that, it's great. Look at the run they just got in that inning. What speed does for you. Shatters his bat. They have him picked off, and now he scores from second on a bleeder down the third baseline. He just keeps on coming. He did watch him throw. So that's just a great play all around. Ball doesn't leave the infield, and they get a run.
Back toward the middle, right through the legs of Romero, and Utley flips to second to retire the side. 1 run on 2 infield hits. It's time to stretch here in Philly. Speed does burn as Michael Bourne gives the Astros a 5-1 lead. Quiz answer. Wheels, here's the question. Who was the last Astros pitcher before Roy Oswald in 04-05 to record back-to-back 20-win seasons?
I thought of a bunch of guys, but I don't know who it is. I thought of J.R. Richard. I thought of Mike Scott. I thought of Joe Niekro. I thought of
You got to pick one of those three.
Mike Scott.
You would be incorrect. Darn. It would be Joe Niekro in 79 and 80. Niekro won 21 games in 79 and 20 and 80.
Yeah, he was really good. Well, J.R. Richard is on there. Mike Scott. Hampton. Oh, Lima. Jose Lima. Huh?
Mike Hampton just signed a minor league contract with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Who's still paying him?
That's a good question. It could be a couple teams. Well, while we were doing the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer, Wandy Rodriguez went out to start the throw, and something went wrong. And Brad Mills and the Astros athletic trainer came out just to check on him. They're going to keep him in the game. They do have Fulcino loosening up in the pen right now, but they're going to let Wandy throw a little bit, and I guess he's going to stay in the ball game. There's Fulcino. I didn't see if he, what he did when he was loosening up, if anything at all. But something seemed to bother him. Now he has a 4-run lead to work with here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Rex Jones was the athletic trainer who came out with Brad Mills to check on Wandy Rodriguez. Well, the Phillies starters have been good this series. The Astros starters have been really good. In fact, with Rodriguez's 6 innings today, the Astros starters have allowed 2 earned runs or less in all 4 games. 6 earned runs in 25 1/3 for the Astros starting pitchers. '23 hits. That's it.
Well, Phillies with 2 runs a game for the most part lately and haven't gotten to that point yet. And obviously they're going to need a lot more than that to win this one.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. We alluded to the Phils' struggles offensively. They've been held to 2 runs or less in 6 of their last 7 games. And they've been outscored, counting today, 34-17 during that span.
2-1.
Jason Worth is 1 for 2. Tries to check his swing. An appeal. No swing.
Boy, I bet these guys can't wait to get out of here. They'll go somewhere tomorrow night. Nobody will notice them. They hope. I mean the umpires.
Greg Gibson, the second base umpire tonight.
I mean, they're at the point right now where every check swing gets a jeer.
Yeah.
Or a boo.
3-2 to Jason. Raul Ibanez due up next. It'll be Jason, Raul Ibanez, Shane Victorino against Wandy Rodriguez. And another strikeout. So Jason's down on strikes for the first out here in the 7th. Well, the Florida Marlins will be part of a homestand. The Phillies will begin against the Milwaukee Brewers on the 3rd of September. Then on the 6th, the Marlins and the Phillies will have a day-night doubleheader, 1:05 and 7:05. And then traditional games, the 7th and 8th. You can get your tickets for that 4-game series. And, hey, listen, every series is going to be important for the Phillies as they head toward the month of October. You can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com or call 215-463-1000. Raul Ibanez has doubled and walked today. And he lines one to right field, a base hit. Good swing by Raul, a pitch that was left up. Phillies have had base runners the last 3 innings and have managed just 1 run. Let's see if they can get this offense to stir here in the bottom of the 7th.
Here we go again.
The cheers are building for Scott Barry.
Both derisive. Thank goodness he didn't call that one a swing.
Working on his technique. Next time it's hit over there, he's going to be able to get it.
Yeah, that was an easy one, too. Well, what am I talking about? None of them are easy. But an easier.
Andy Rabel's next to him. Andy is the sure-handed camera operator that we've talked about before. He's giving him some tips just to make sure he's on board next time. Off the end of the bat, little flare to right. Pence got a good jump. And there are 2 outs.
Did not see a fastball in that at bat. Change up, curveballs.
.108 pitches for Wandy Rodriguez. He's been pretty efficient today, despite the 3-ball counts that he's had. Even with all the deep counts that he ran in the first 3 innings, he had 6 3-ball counts in the first 3 innings. He still was able to pick up a manageable pitch count, and has really picked up the pace as the game has worn on.
When we talked about that in the first couple innings, I mentioned that he was out of sync. You could see it, and they were hitting some balls hard off him, right at people. And then he started to get it, and he really started to get his breaking ball going. And that's his curveball is his best pitch right now, and has been evidently in his last few starts. There's a good one right there.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Prince Fielder's hit his 26th home run to tie up the Dodgers. That game's at the bottom of the 4th. Brewers have lost 4 straight. The Dodgers again playing today without Manny Ramirez in the lineup. LA 12 games back in the West, 65 and 62. Schneider hits it hard, but on one hop right to Wallace, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left here in the bottom of the 7th. We go to the 8th in a 4-run game. Plus Ford stores. By McDonald's, introducing a strawberry banana and wild berry real fruit smoothie. Try a small for just $2.29 only at McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Suzuki and the new Kazashi midsize sports sedan. Suzuki, the power of engineering. On a day that began celebrating Roy Halladay's perfect game back on the 29th of May, the Phillies have not played a perfect game. They trail at 5-1 as we go to the top of the 8th. Still have a chance, 6 outs to go to get 4 back, and they need Jose Contreras here to try to quiet this Astros offense. He'll pick up for J.C. Romero. Pitched an inning, a lot of run on 2 hits. And Contreras at his 53rd game.
Astros have been kind of methodical with their offense here today, just adding 1 run 5 times and have a 4-run lead.
Well, here's Carlos Lee.
He'll swing early. Almost every time.
And he swings early and hits one on 1 hop right to Chase Utley on the right side. And Contreras gets the first out here in the 8th. Well, the Atlanta Braves and the Phillies are 1-2 in the National League East. Well, the final series for the Braves here in Philadelphia begins Monday, September 20th at 7:05. Now, we mentioned the other night the tickets are moving pretty quickly for that series. Well, there's limited availability for the Hatfield Dollar Dog Night, the last one. And then Tuesday the 21st, Wednesday the 22nd, seats are still available. Phillies will wrap up the season in Atlanta.
Yep.
Well, those are 3 very important games here in Philadelphia.
We want them to be Bobby Cox's last 3 games as a manager.
Yep.
That should be some weekend, though, in Atlanta when they honor that guy.
Chris Johnson's hitless today. 6 hits in the series, 6 for 17. Straightaway center field. And Victorino is back to the spot for the second out.
Be one of those things where, you know, it'd be an honor to be there for Bobby Cox's last regular season games, because that guy's meant so much to the game, and we've seen him manage so many games because of him being in the division all these years. And he's one of the good people in the game too. You know, he's good to the media. I mean, you can always talk to him, ask him stuff. A lot of respect for Bobby Cox. I think everybody in this game does.
Well, the Braves lead the Phillies by 2.5 in the division. They're off today. Then they take on the Marlins this weekend. People wonder about the matchups against the East. The Phillies' last 25 games are against the East. Well, the Phillies are 3 games over 500 against National League East teams. So are the Marlins. Both are 25-22. Well, after that, the Braves are 23-21. The Mets are 23-27. As Wallace rips one to right, Jason's there, makes the catch, and then falls to the ground. And the side is retired. Washington is 22-26 against the East. So those matchups are going to be very important. A 1-2-3 top of the 8th for Jose Contreras. A little scary for Jason to finish up the inning. Vitalico. Then he'll break down the Phillies series against the Astros. Don't miss Phillies postgame live presented by Sloan Toyota. Following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Wheels were mentioning all the birthdays earlier. Ricky Vitalica's birthday today.
Ran into him outside. I wish I'd have known that at the time.
Sorry, you can always send him a card. Or...
No, that's it. There was one shot at it, and I missed it. Have to wait till next year. But happy birthday, Bo.
Bottom of the 8th, and Jeff Fulcino takes over for the Astros. 38th game for Fulcino. 1-0, a 6.18 ERA. Jason Bourgeois will take over and left. Look what the Astros bullpen has done in this series. 1 earned run in 14 2/3. Now we keep giving all these numbers, and the Astros have done quite well. The Phillies bullpen has done a nice job too during this series, but the Astros pen, and there are a lot of young guys in that bullpen, have really handled the Phillies left-handers quite well.
The job they did the other night in that extra inning game was amazing. Abad did a great job. They brought
Gustavo Chacin
and Melanson.
Yep.
He came in last night and he got an out after he did that great job in the long game the other night. So, and then the Phillies are going to move on. There's Abad right there. The Phillies are going to move on to the best bullpen in baseball over the weekend. That's ridiculous in San Diego. You talk about shortening the games.
Dominic Brown pinch hitting for the Phillies to start the bottom of the 8th. The Padres will enter tomorrow's game sitting atop the National League West. 6.5 games ahead of the Giants with 76 wins, the most in the National League.
Amazing.
And Dominic Brown is down on strikes. 3 pitches from Fulcino. One away.
See what's happening with Dominic Brown right now, trying to pinch hit. You know, they don't want this to be this way, but it is. They say it is what it is, and it won't always be this way. But, you know, you come up and you face guys, trick pitches like this, one splitter after another. You know, I mean, he's a young player that's geared to hit fastballs at this point in his career and has to play a lot to learn how to hit up here and to get a feel on how to hit up here. And it's not going to be as a pinch hitter.
Oh, with 1 out, here's Jimmy. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Jimmy has scored the only run today for the Phillies.
But it's just not a whole lot of places for him to play. If you're going to play your 3 regulars almost every game, and that's what they're going to do.
Right side, Hernandez to his right. And there are 2 quick outs here in the 8th. Oh, with 2 away here at the bottom of the 8th, it'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Well, Charlie was mentioning the other day about Dominic Brown. He was discussing, you know, his abilities, and he said that you would like to get him more at bats, but they also think that during this stretch run that he can help in some way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can use him double switches, put him in the outfield, maybe run him somewhere. But they know he's not being best served by being here, but you're trying to win. And if Ross Gload hadn't gone down, he probably would have been sent back. But Ross Gload just couldn't go with that groin problem, so Dominic Brown's here, and he's not getting to play every day at AAA and then being a September recall.
Chase 1 for 3, an RBI double his last time up. That goes right off the glove of Castro, and it's 2-0.
Phillies are starting to get a little life today, and they got sucked out of them in that inning with 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, in my opinion, when they got nothing out of that. Even though they got something the next inning, that was the inning right there. It was still early in the game to get after them there, maybe cut it to 2. Didn't happen.
Yeah, the single by Worth and then the double by Raul Ibanez. First 2 hits of the day against Wandy Rodriguez. And then Shane Victorino struck out, and Brian Schneider flied out to right. And Jason was thrown out trying to score from 3rd. And ball 4 to Chase, so he's aboard for the 2nd time. Oh, the 2nd walk issued today by Astros pitching. Talked about the Braves being off today, so the Phillies have a chance to gain a half a game in the standings. Not only that, the Giants are off today, so the Phillies could gain a game on San Francisco in the wild card. St. Louis will play later on against the Washington Nationals. They're a game back. And Colorado is 4 games back in the wild card. The Rockies have won 4 straight to get back within reach.
We were talking about them when they were here, and they were really down. The Phillies were beating them, and I really thought that they would be a team to be reckoned with as the season went along, and then they went into another funk when they got home. But they're out of it again right now. The Phillies have to parachute in there and play 1 game on the next trip. And when they get going at home, look out. They're tough. And it's the Braves.
Polanco shows bunt and takes a fastball for a strike. Well, the splits for the Rockies: 21 games over 500 at home and 25 and 40 on the road. Look at the difference in the average, the runs per game. Now, the earned run average is fairly close, but it's really about the offense.
They score in that ballpark. They feel, I'm sure they just feel like a different team when they play at home, and they know how to play in September. They've proven that over the years. So they will be a team that will be a problem for the league for the National League in September. I still think that.
Broke his bat behind second. Anderson Hernandez, the second baseman, is there, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left for the Phillies. They've stranded a runner or 2 in each of the last 4. We go to the 9th. Full and the 5 different partial season plans are available right now by going to Phillies.com or by calling 215-463-5000. Some great benefits to being a season ticket holder. Not only get a chance to see some of the great games here at home next year, but also the opportunity to see postseason games as David Herndon gets ready for his 36th ball game. 1-3, a 4.57 earned run average. Well, the Phillies have won 1-2-3 inning today by their starter Kyle Kendrick and 1 by the bullpen. And every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. Here's Angel Sanchez, 2 for 3 this afternoon. He takes a pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1. David Herndon was saddled with the loss in the 16-inning game. He gave up one infield hit after another in that 16th inning, and he didn't pitch badly.
No, he did a good job holding the fort in that game, and that's the way he loses a lot of times, because he's going to throw grounders, and if they're not at somebody, and they weren't in that inning, you know, he can give up stuff because he's not going to strike you out for the most part. You know, he's a ground ball pitcher. He's a sinker ball guy with a work in progress breaking ball.
Rich Doobie was very happy with the way Herndon threw that night. Liked his movement on his sinker and the movement on the slider too. And said if the game had gone to the 17th, that today's starter Kyle Kendrick would have come in at that point. I said, was there any thought of putting Kyle out in left field, because Kyle's a good athlete? And he said, no, if we were going to bring him in, the thought would have been that he would have had to pitch more than an inning, so we wanted to make sure that he was loosened up properly, and that's why he was out in the bullpen. And a called strike 3 right on the outside corner. Some paint from David Herndon, and one away.
I think Herndon's gotten rid of that sleeve he had on his arm there after the line drive hit him. Looks like a little comeback sinker. It was. Runs back over the plate. The hitter's going to give up on that.
Castro singled back in the 2nd inning, and he's grounded out to Chase the last 2 times. Inside the third base bag and down the left field line. Castro stumbles around first, but he still gets to second without a throw. And that's his 2nd hit of the day. It's his 4th double of the season. And Bourgeois will bat for the first time.
It is right off the end of the bat and in a perfect spot. Cut off there by Raul Ibanez, but an easy double for Castro. It is now 12 hits for the Astros.
Bourgeois has been used as a defensive replacement or a pinch hitter in this series. He hasn't started any of the games. And he lays off a sinker, and it's outside low. 1 ball and no strikes. Off the end of the bat. Into foul territory. Brian Schneider off with the mask, and he puts it away. And Herndon goes over to cover third just in case. 2 outs. That's another pretty good pitch right there. Abad still loosening up in the pen. Looks like the 9th inning will be his. Well, I guess they can keep Fulchino in if they wanted to.
Yeah, they may just want to, you know, with Phillies having 2 out of 3 left-handed hitters, they may want to find out something about Abad, you know, bring him into the game, see what happens. You know, they have the 4-run lead, so, you know, they can get away with something there.
Off speed pitch, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Bourne. I don't think we've said that often with David Herndon. Off speed pitch, Wheels.
No.
Usually it's sinker slider.
That was a changeup.
Yeah. Another foul, and it's 1-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead over the Brewers. Scott Posednik, an RBI single. Over to the right side. Howard slides, picks it up, and that's going to be a tough play, and no chance to get Bourne. 3rd hit of the day for Michael Bourne. It's as if he has a 10-foot head start on everybody else.
Well, he's only hitting 250, and you wonder how, obviously other teams are getting him out. But against the Phillies, they don't get him out, and he gets all kinds of hits. And that's the kind of player you think if that guy hit 270 or 280, he'd be unbelievable. I mean, you think he'd run 250. Just no matter how much contact, because he hits enough, dunkers and bleeders and little infield hits and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he has the 2 infield hits today.
I just don't see how he's only around 250.
I agree with that.
When you see him, but we don't see him all year.
Well, he has 31 infield hits this season. Hernandez sprays it foul.
There's a faster player in the league. I don't know who it is. He's going to have a little problem with his shoulder down there, it looks like. You wonder if when he slid home head first and nailed that bat, if he rolled over on it. There's nothing they could do about it because the bat was right in the area of home plate and it was all happening so fast nobody could kick it out of there.
Runner goes, and Schneider doesn't throw. He just looks over at third. And it's the second stolen base of the day for Bourne.
Yeah, they're not going to throw there with 2 outs and Anderson Hernandez up. Here's the play right here. Now, you see, he comes in real hard, extends that shoulder, and then he pushes the bat out with his right hand. So maybe if he has any problem, it was on the extension, reaching for home plate there.
Most coaches will tell you not to slide head first into home, and it's part of the reason why.
Yeah. He's looking at that shin guard right in his face too, because Brian Snyder tried to put his foot down.
Swing and a miss. They tied up Hernandez, and the side is retired. 2 strikeouts in the inning for David Herndon. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men less. One last chance for the Phillies at the bottom of the ninth with Ryan Howard due up. Today's game will encore tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. See David Montgomery presenting Roy Halladay with his perfect game ring. It was a beauty. There's the Dick Perez print. Game will also encore tonight at 10 and tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on the Comcast network. And our next telecast will be tomorrow as the Phillies start their West Coast swing with the Padres. Coverage begins with Phillies pregame live tomorrow at 9:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Bottom of the ninth, one last chance for the Phils. The Astros have won the first three. They lead game 4, 5-1. The Phillies swept the Astros earlier this year in a 3-game series. And the Phillies, if they don't get anything here against Fernando Abad, well, they'll have been swept out in a 4-game series at home.
Well, that's amazing, as well as they've been playing at home, too. It just shows you don't take anything for granted in this game. And if you do, you will pay for it.
We mentioned over the last 75 games, the Astros are 5 games over 500. But they are in 4th place in the Central. 0-2 the count. Outside and high, 1-2. Ryan Howard 1 for 15 in the series with 10 strikeouts. Off the end of the bat, Hernandez charges from shallow right. 1 away here in the ninth. So the Phillies down to their final 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. Jason Worth has one of the 5 hits for the Phils. Phillies were held hitless through the first 4 innings today by Wandy Rodriguez. Rodriguez went 7, allowed 5 hits and a run. A walk and 6 strikeouts. Jason, a leadoff single in the 5th. And he's 1 for 3, ground out to short. That single that we talked about in a strikeout. And a fastball for a strike. A lot of long faces in that Phillies dugout. Not the way they anticipated finishing up this homestand. They had been playing so well here at home.
Got to get all their players back and go the other way. This game, you will not figure it out.
It is a humble game.
Oh, it will humble you. That's for sure.
Straight away center field. Michael Bourne glides back a few steps. 2 outs. So Abad 1 out away from finishing off a series sweep for the Astros.
All you can do is try and pick up, fly 3,000 miles, try and pick up the pieces and go against the team with the best record in the league in a ballpark where the Phillies have had great success the last few years.
Raul has 2 hits today. He's been on base 3 times. A lot of success out in San Diego and a lot of postseason success in Los Angeles.
Very good feeling in that yard. But you get to the point now you have to just start to, every day you play 1 game at a time. Well, they really have to start thinking that way because this is a series that hurts you. And it's not just that you lose 4 games; it's the way you play for 4 games. Just kind of dead. And, nobody wants to be that way, but you're making all these right turns, you look dead.
1-1 the count to Ibanez. A fastball in the outside corner, 1-2. Phillies got very good starting pitching during this series. Left side, that should sneak through, and it does. Ibanez a 3-hit day.
Nice little emergency swing there. I love that expression, and that was an emergency swing if there ever was one. With 2 strikes, you're in protect mode, and that guy threw a perfect pitch. As you see, Raul's 6-3 hit game. Abad threw a really good pitch away. Look at this. And at the last second, just drop the head on it and find a hole. Yeah, he shakes his head and went. I thought that was pretty good. I thought I had it.
Victorino's 0 for 3. Shane is grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice and lines one to left field, a base hit. About to say he struck out and flied out, but there's his first hit of the day. So with 2 outs, 2 aboard, Phillies need one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Carlos Ruiz is going to pinch hit for Brian Schneider. Brad Arnsberg going out to the mound to talk to Abad about Carlos. Again, the Astros bullpen has done its job in this 4-game series. Brandon Lyons been part of the bullpen that's done its job, including 2 scoreless innings last night.
Well, right now this is a save situation, but they don't. I guess they don't want to use Lyon, especially after last night. But they're going to get him ready. But the tying run is in the on-deck circle.
Mike Sweeney on deck. Pitcher spot is due up after Ruiz. 7 hits now for the Phillies. Outside, ball 1. Phillies have had a couple of very impressive and improbable comebacks this year, and they are looking for another chance here. That ball is scorched. Vanya's on second. Victorino over at first. Brad Mills is probably not jittery just yet, but he's probably pretty close.
Sometimes that last one will be the hardest one to get. So he's trying to make it that way.
Since 2004, the Astros have played the Phillies tougher than anybody else in the National League. But this is not the Astros of 2004 or 05 or 06 or even earlier here in 2010. Two and 1 the count to Carlos. On the outside corner, 2-2. Sam Holbrook's had a good zone throughout the course of the ball game.
Yeah, as he said, the baseball 101 last night. They want to be down there and leave the field, nobody even talk about it. And they talk about them that way, that they, he had a good day behind the plate. That's fine.
Another trip to the mound.
Well, I think they're talking about location now more than anything. It's a fastball spot, and whether you want to go in or out. And that's what he just went away to Carlos Ruiz because you could see Carlos was looking middle in to pull right now. Maybe they see that and they're thinking, well, let's stay away from him.
They are just not on the same page.
Well, maybe it's not location then. Location's easy to figure out.
To the count to Ruiz. And he's still alive. It remains 2-2. Castro's going to bring the ball out to the mound.
It was fastball in.
The last 4-game sweep for the Astros was a year ago against the Phillies at Minute Maid Park.
Maybe they're having a little language problem.
I was thinking that too because Angel Sanchez was coming in pretty quickly from shortstop.
We don't know about Abad, what his, if his English is was okay, but that could have been a communication thing.
Ibanez is on second. Victorino's on first. 3-2 the count. The runners will be off.
Well, they went with a breaking ball there.
Mike Sweeting's hoping for a chance.
Well, get one more base runner. You figure you'll see Brandon Lyon. Fans are great. Boy, I'll tell you, they had to sit on their hands all day, but they're into it right now.
Runners go. Ball is hit towards center. Michael Bourne has a beat on it. He's under it. And the Houston Astros have come to Philadelphia and swept out the Phillies in a 4-game series. It's the second straight year that Houston has swept a 4-game series from the Phils. And Brad Mills' team, the last time they swept a 4-game series at home, the Phillies were swept in a 4-game series at home, was September of 2002 against the New York Mets. And this one came at a very inopportune time for the Phils. Last time the Astros swept the Phillies in a 4-game series in Philadelphia was at the Vet in September of 1999. So the Phillies finished the homestand 4-6. They now hit the road for 7 games in the West Coast. And our Chevrolet player of the game, Carlos Lee, 2 for 4, a home run and 2 runs batted in. And here is our W. Mason delivery of the game.
3rd inning.